So this is episode 15, and we have Paige Coughlin and Johnny. John, how did I say your last name?
Tolisano.
One more time.
Tolisano.
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 Tolisano. Okay, sorry. I knew I was going to butcher that.
Get in the trunk.
So
everybody does.
Everybody does. Unless you're in Italy.
Now today, you guys are familiar with Jeff because Jeff is y'all's sales tech. So I dragged him onto the show. This is his first time on the show.
Howdy.
So yeah.
This is episode 16.
And he's sick. Like he's gotten the whole Nitrous Outlet staff sick. He brought.
Oh no!
He sounds like the golden child of Nitrous Outlet.
Yeah. So.
I'm gonna put up with this because that's the boss. But I did not get everybody sick.
I think you did. Everybody just called in today because it's the day after Memorial Day. That's probably what really happened. Like we're probably a good quarter of the people out today.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So
hey, I didn't call out.
I did this morning.
All right, so let's get this thing rolling. So first of all, you guys have to give us the traditional "What's up?" Let me hear it.
We're ready.
You guys ready?
One, we gotta do it together.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
No. Come on. You gotta let it.
Come on.
Let me hear.
Come on.
Do it together.
3, 2, 1.
What's up?
That's better.
That's close enough.
So I always kind of do like a little summary of introduction here, which means that I use Chat GPT, right? So
it's a great tool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read this off and then we'll get to like some natural talking. How about that?
That's good.
All right. So Paige, father Troy Coughlin, grandfather Jag Coughlin, right? Everybody knows who Jags is. Your family is very well known in NHRA Pro Stock, Super Gas, and Pro Mod racing. Prior to 2022, you've competed in junior dragsters, super comp, bracket racing, and horseback riding. Right?
Yep.
My daughter would love the whole horseback riding thing.
That's a deep nugget.
So in 2022, you transitioned into no prep racing and partnered with Mike Reese and Justin Beaver to enter MPK.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep.
With your 1992 Camaro, the Golden Child, sweet third gen.
Very nice.
So the car being named Golden Child, is that something you've been called? I'm wondering where that came from.
Oh boy. So the actual story behind the name is the original color of the car. It was this one of a kind gold, like candy apple color. It was beautiful. And over time, the car wasn't all one color. So when it came time to go no prep racing, we had to pick a new color because we couldn't paint, match it, and blend it. So we decided to tie it into the name Golden Child because it was that gold color when Mike drove it, his wife drove it. Even my dad used to race that back in an MCA. And it was all that one beautiful color. It's still on Google Images if you happen to Google it. But
nitrous backfires. Steve was all going on.
Oh,
it was nice.
So
but it's a beautiful color.
So key up for our marketing guys. We need to have an image like right here.
Yes, right here. You can send it.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. It's I have it saved somewhere because man, that car was so cool. It still is cool today, but nothing compares to that original gold color. And one day I think if we could restore it to that color, it'd be pretty badass. But for right now, it's that root beer, luscious toffee color.
That looks good too. I don't know what the prior look, but like I looked at your car and it looks nice. And I'm a third gen fan, so pretty much.
We need a UPS sponsorship.
Oh my gosh. Got the perfect color.
They have some deep pockets. I know because I pay my bill.
Oh my gosh.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
All right. So whenever you entered NPK, that car had a Proline Hemi and a Pro Charger, right? So is that still the combo now?
Yes.
Okay. Except for now we got a little nitrous on it.
Yeah. We added a little bit of sparkle with some nitrous in there, especially with the no rules this year. The only rules that we have are steel roof and steel quarters. So we were like, already, anything's game. So that's why we went with Nitrous, and it's been a blast to work with, and we're super excited to work with you as we continue to fine tune the operation. What do you think?
We haven't burned nothing up yet, so that's kind of disappointing.
Hey, that's pretty good because I bet some people have and they just haven't said nothing.
Well, they definitely have.
No, it's looking good so far. I mean, but
we've been taking like the baby steps at it, but now we're going to a
pedal to the metal, balls to the wall, just flip and floor it. I don't know, just send it.
So now that we're going to a good prep track, we're probably gonna light the thing off. So hopefully we come back we'll at least send you like maybe one burnt piston or something.
So this weekend you are going to Virginia, is that right?
Yeah, Virginia.
Yes.
And we were just at California. What was the name of that track? Famoso?
Famoso Drive Strip out in Bakersfield.
Yeah. So I guess the track was like a little dusty.
Well, it was 100. The track temps were like 150 degrees.
It was so hot. It would have been beautiful 70s, sunny degrees for the entire week, except the 2 days we were racing was 100 degrees.
100 degrees.
We were like, great. But other than that, the track itself was really cool. It was actually surrounded by pistachio fields, something I had never seen before, ever. But other than that, I think the track was really cool. I think it would have been awesome to try racing in different weather conditions. Might have been a little bit more forgiving, but
we didn't kick the ball hard enough second round, and they all kicked the ball hard. Because it
was tough.
First round was almost like who could slow it down the best and get down the track.
Yeah.
And then second round was like, all right, time to fucking light it off, and we didn't light it off.
Oh.
It's a fine line that you have to find when tuning these things, and according to the track conditions. And that one was just especially tough, just with the cards that we were dealt with. But everybody at the racetrack was super nice, and I wouldn't mind going back.
No, fans were really good.
Yeah, they were. They were awesome.
So that was definitely a tuner's track, huh? To the conditions.
Yes.
Now, who did you have first round?
Murder Nova.
Finally got the monkey off our
That
back.
was so satisfying. Because we've raced maybe 3 times, I think, over the last 2 seasons. And I lost to him in the final last year at Texas, and I was so mad, more so because I'm a red, so I beat myself. But
now we have a pro tree, and they won't tell us.
I don't know if that's coming back. We
don't know if it was 410s, 510s. We had to roll delay in because
it was kind of a disaster in that sense, but also kind of fun because everybody kind of had to just get their shit together at the last minute, because we normally run instant green, and they decided to run a pro tree at that track. And I don't know why, but I had to dig into my pockets of like, when was the last time I ran with a pro tree? Because it's been a minute, and delay was all kind of out of whack, and we don't know what our reaction times are.
Well, so we unload it off the trailer and they go right in the first round, so there's no time run.
That's right. Yeah, no time runs, no qualifying, no testing, nothing. First round off the trailer to see if you can get into their like grade 8 race with the champs. So we went red that round, but the car made a killer pass, and I'm like, I had one job.
So then we rolled some delay in. We rolled delay and it didn't go red again.
No, it didn't.
Right.
But it's a guessing game when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of hoping we go back to instant green, but at least now we have some data to go off of if we do keep the pro tree.
Now,
It's a disorganized, organized.
I was told that they're going to switch back and forth throughout the season. Is that right?
I mean, they could. I have no idea. I mean, I'm here for it if they do, now that I have some practice with the pro tree.
Yeah.
I'm a little rusty, getting back to my super comp days.
I think pro tree will definitely open up more consistent racing as far as to the finish line, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because sometimes people are like, at least now if they're like 200 on the tree, at least they know they just sucked because they had 3 lights to warn them.
I do love how chaotic instant green is, though.
It is chaotic.
I love that part. It goes everything against I've ever done before, but I actually really enjoy it. So I might be one of the few that do.
Usually, whenever you enjoy something, that's where your strongest point's going to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know like how. I mean, yeah, we practice, but just getting off the light to me is like that's what it takes. Sometimes that's what it takes to win the round. And if this has anything to do with me, I'm going to leave first. So I try with every fiber of my being to let go of that button before the other guy does and get off that line faster. And that's what we did with Murder Nova. And he was not nearly as fast as me or as normal. I mean, he was slower, but
That's because we had a 38-inch tire on there.
yeah, that's it.
That's been our running joke because he's like, oh, the 36s are better. And I'm like, we're running 38s. And he's like, they got 38s? No, they ain't got the 38s.
But we do. Yeah, pro tips. But no, it
We're
was.
thinking about getting a stamp to like stamp our own tires.
Johnny.
That way we got some 34s that are stamped 38s.
Oh boy, Johnny, you
It's all about the
creative.
It's all about the games and the series.
It truly is. I mean, but it makes it fun that way, in my opinion. And Johnny's obviously much better at it than I am. But we enjoy doing it together, and especially when we beat Murder Nova, that was
Beat anybody.
That was flipping awesome. I know, but I've been wanting to beat him. He was one of my favorite ones to watch growing up. I named my first race car after him. And just to beat him, I was like, that's right.
Plus, it's a good accomplishment because he's having a lot of seat time. He's like basically him and Kai have
Only one last
been
year,
wearing
yeah.
him out.
They're seasoned. They're big names, and to accomplish putting someone that has that type of seat time and that type of experience on the trailer, that's a huge accomplishment.
Well, thank you. It was very daunting. But I was really excited to do it, and hopefully we can do it again.
Now,
We're not letting the Gucci car beat us this weekend.
is that who got y'all second round?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Nate Saylor and Chris Michael.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, they're Team
That won't
Nitrous
happen
Outlet
again.
as well.
Yeah.
They were struggling. It seemed like they were struggling in the beginning of the weekend, and then
Well,
it
they
was
were
like
even testing there,
it
too.
was like they loaded something in the computer, and that thing was a rocket, and they just fucking wore everybody out.
Yeah, but you know what? I left first. They were trying to talk some shit up at the top end, and I'm like, oh, you treat her. You got her. And I'm like, the hell you did? I went back. I'm zooming in on the live stream, looking at our lights. And if they're watching, I did leave first, just to let y'all know.
You got Nate on the tree, huh?
Yeah, he was quick too, because he comes from the same background. He's a bracket racer as well. So I give him credit there, but I did leave first. Just saying.
Good deal. All right, so you started so once you entered MPK in 2022, you started in the futures class, winning her fourth race in Bowling Green, right?
Yep.
Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay. Which earned you a spot in the invitational class where you joined forces with Daddy Dave, Kayla Morton, Atsman, and Dominator. And you advanced to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, first race.
I did.
Would be Robin's first round.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Robin was the one. He was the toughest one of that year, I feel like, too.
Him and Damon too. Damon was on
Damon
there.
was
Because
fast.
that's who I lost to that day.
It
I
says you
remember.
took out Doc too, and Doc's one of my guys. Not now, he's blown root seat
Oh,
blown.
Doc.
But, Doc and I are good friends. All right, so throughout the debut season, you finished 10th in points and secured a spot in the MPK Elite Playoffs, and that brings us up to what you were talking about, where you went to the finals in Ennis and lost to Murder Nova. So you just got sweet revenge. Right?
I sure did.
So,
Sure did.
so beyond the racing side of it, so you work in the accounting department at JEGS.
Not anymore. I used to. May that department forever have my heart. That's where I learned how to do what I do today. All those ladies in accounts payable were like another family to me, especially Shirley Carter. She was my first boss, but now I do all the accounting, bookkeeping. I run everything on the backside of Johnny's business at J&J Racing Engines.
Yep, which we're fishing to come up to and cover Johnny here, because that's actually how how I became involved, was talking with Johnny, which Jeff is responsible for that. So, are you still pursuing degrees at Miami University, or are you full-time racing now?
Full-time racing now. I graduated in 2022.
Okay, good deal. Congratulations.
Dude, that was 3 years ago.
Huh?
That was 3 years ago.
Well, we're owed.
It's ChatGPT. You
It's
gotta
like
get
it's
time.
yesterday, so it's okay.
I mean, I literally did this 10 minutes ago. This is pretty solid for 10 minutes worth of work.
All good.
So now we'll throw this aside. All right. So, which brings up to Jeff. So a lot of times you would think I know everything that's going on here, and I don't. Like, I'm really in a narrow box. And so I'm really at the mercy of my team, like Jeff, that is like, hey, go come check this out. And so as this new MPK series, so I'll back up. This last race, I can't say the word, Famoso?
Famoso.
Right? Yes. That I hate to admit this, but because I never watched TV, right? Like back in the day, if TV was on in my house, it was SpongeBob. So, so I don't really get to watch a whole lot of TV, but I happened to be building a motor out in my shop, and I put it on the live, and I watched this last race. So, and of course, we have quite a bit of contenders there. So, but what led me up to bringing that up was people like yourself and talking to Johnny, and Johnny and I. Once I started talking, so let me back up a minute. I'm a babbler. So once Jeff said, "Hey, pay attention to this," I reached out to Johnny and introduced myself, and that's how we established that relationship. But Jeff is, it's always about the first. What is that word? Not appearance, but impression. So if you guys would have reached out to Jeff and he did a terrible job, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now, right? So congratulations, Jeff. So Johnny, so you have, it's J.A. Racing?
J and J. Me and my dad were John and Johnny.
Okay, so J&J. And
Yep.
I'm familiar with you from Scott Bogler. Scott's a good friend of mine. And
Yep.
and so Scott's like, "Hey, are you talking to Johnny?" And I said, "Actually, I am." And so that's where he goes, "Yeah, man, he builds motors for me." So that it's weird how our industry has a circle. You know what I mean?
It's a,
That's so cool.
it is.
Yeah. So I've known Scott from Scott and Dan Van Horn got me interested in the late model Hemi stuff, like whenever it first started coming out. And and I'm sure he's told you the story where we're out there with no tuning. I mean, the only thing they had was like a shifter module for the late model Hemi, and we're out there spraying like 300 and 400 on them. No, we're going to blow it up because they didn't offer no spark plugs for it or not. It was wild. That was fun. Like we had a lot of fun. And of course those cars weigh like 10,000 pounds. Not really, but they're heavy and we were battling just to it's like I got to start all over in the street car world, and I had a blast. So Johnny, you have a wholesale account set up with us, right?
Yes, sir.
So for the people that are watching, they can contact you directly and buy any of our product lines.
Yeah, we've got some pretty good. I mean, we've got some data on that. I mean, we got John Widener. He's running 640s in the quarter with the SR20 combination. I mean, it's the plate systems are so simple. I mean, I think a monkey can put one on and go fast with it, in my opinion.
Now, you're a bracket racer, right?
Yeah, so I mostly purge to the starting line, maybe bang through the motors to sound cool, and then the finish line you're using it the last 100 feet, and you're basically a lot of times when you are spraying it, you're also locking the brakes up about 40 foot before the finish line because you're splitting that difference of what you just picked up. So it's actually a lot of fun until you hit the wall, because I've done that once.
So you're kind of driving by the seat of your pants to what feels right to cross the line.
Yeah, you're basically like, you think it a lot in your head, and you're like, all right, at this point in this track, like let's say you're passing the 330, you're like, all right, I should be on this guy, and if I'm not out of the gas by this point, now you're grabbing the nitrous because you're playing up to him, and then you're locking the brakes up and feeding him a bunch of stripe and praying he goes under and you stay over.
I didn't know a whole lot about bracket racing, and I became friends with David Bird Jones a long time ago.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
We went to one of Duck's races, and he entered my smart car in the bracket race, and I can't remember which one it was. But what caught my interest was him like theorizing how he was going to race it. But what ended up happening is he ended up getting in his own head, and because he was so far behind the other car, he thought for sure that I don't know what it was. He thought he was going to break out, so he braked. And
Yeah,
if he wouldn't have, he would have won, which everybody in the crowd was going nuts because you're in this slow, smart car that's like a go-kart going down the track. And it was actually really funny, but what was even more funnier was he was so mad at himself for losing. And he sent me like this mile-long paragraph of where he messed up and what he did wrong. And I'm like, dude, you're racing a smart car. You know, like, so it was that. Honestly, that's the first time I started kind of studying bracket racing. And he started telling me, David, like, this really challenges the driver, you know, like,
Gosh,
and I became intrigued with it. I've never done it. But it became interesting to me. I'm kind of one of those that once something catches my interest, like I focus down on it. That's part of the attention deficit and the hyperactivity thing.
You got two chances to win or lose a race, right at the start and down on the big end.
Right.
Yep.
So it's not really a spectator show. But
Definitely not a spectator show.
But if you're involved in actually doing it, that's where the fun's at.
The fun part
100%.
is as short a time as you're actually on the track and you're going through all of those little steps and just in a small window. You know, like these guys, I watch the top sportsman and the top dragster nowadays, and these guys are just insane running down through there at 200 mile an hour and just hit the brakes and park that sucker. So it's mine. I didn't run that fast. I mean, I ran 160.
Yeah.
But I still had to do the same thing. Super gas and super street and all that. Man, that's what I come up cutting my teeth on. And I know how hard that is. I used to race against Jaggy, you know, way back in the day. And John Vineyard and all these. I'm old. I'm like 55. So,
You're
but
old.
back, I'm older than you. But back then, I mean, it wasn't near what it is now. And then if you go watch any of these spring flings or anything like that, I just might as well walk up there and give them $1,000. Say, man, y'all have a real nice track here. Thanks. And head back to the house.
Jeff follows a lot of different types of racing. So
The most aggressive race I've ever been to was with, I had this roadster, but we were racing at Bristol. It was a World Foot Brake Challenge. So I had like probably one of the faster cars. Most of the cars are all like 650 to 7 flat in the 8. But my roadster goes like mid 5s or high 5s. I don't remember what it was going on the mountain, but it was like everybody had like, these guys were so aggressive as far as like they're in a car, they only go 750, but they're only going 85 miles an hour, but they're killing 13, 14 mile an hour from the mile an hour coming to the finish line to be dead on.
Yeah.
And I'm making a split that's 40 more mile an hour than them, and I'm fucking almost wrecking this roadster every time because I'm trying to catch them dropping. And you got all 4 wheels locked up, and it was the most aggressive racing I've ever been to.
I believe
I couldn't believe that, because when you get into like the big money bracket racing, we have obviously MSG grids and fuel tech and all this stuff now. So these guys, a good converter, a good tire. I mean, a lot of racers are letting go of the button and going dead on.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's impressive.
It is impressive. I think
The
that's
foot brake stuff that's the most impressive to me.
yeah, because you're not relying off of the leg.
You got no trans brake.
Button. You're straight up using your foot to drive. I don't know. It's all impressive to me. I was never as good at it as Johnny.
So let's talk about y'all's dynamics of y'all's team. First of all, how long have y'all been dating? When did y'all meet?
Oh, we met in 2020, 2019?
Something like that. Bracket racing. It was, we were at Palm Beach International Raceway, Moroso.
Yep.
It was the first time I ever raced there myself. And Johnny met me.
She was my beer pong partner.
Oh my gosh.
Your what partner?
My beer pong partner.
Okay.
I carry the team.
There's debate on that to this day, but we'd met then and then we didn't see each other for like 2 or 3 years. Something like that. 2 years.
So my shop's like 5 minutes from Moroso or whatever they call it now. But I was out there testing. I would go out there like every Friday night and just test and make runs because I was so close to it. So I I bugged her enough to where she finally like accepted to come hang out at the racetrack one weekend.
Bugged me is an understatement. I was actually down there riding horses. It was my last semester of college, my one little hurrah before I had to become an adult. And I was living in Florida, and my dad was like, you should take them up on it. You know, they're doing some no prep racing, some grudge racing out there. You should just go check it out. And I was like, I don't know. Finally, I caved and said yes, and went to go hang out with him. And I'm like, you know what? It's actually kind of fun. I'll hang out with him again. And then it kind of went from there. And it's been like that ever since. I was 2022.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't even remember.
And that's good. You are able to sit next to each other and not punch. So the dynamics must be doing pretty good.
I moved here in November of 2022. So that's when I say that's our deal right there. That's
that was basically it. That was the date.
Yeah.
We just can't race in the same series because if I beat her all the time or she beat me, then we probably fight.
You think.
All right, so let's talk about the race team. Who's who and what's what?
Johnny's our lovely team manager. That's his role. But no, we have Mike Reese, who's our tuner. Yep. Justin Beaver does just about anything and everything under the sun in terms of the rig, the car, servicing, driving, a little bit of everything, really. And then there's my dad. He's kind of the overseer.
He's got the cigar in his mouth, making sure everybody does their job.
Helps me sell merch. He does a fabulous job at that. And then there's me. I drive and help pack the chute.
She signs the babies, does all that stuff.
Yeah.
Try to help my car where I can, but mostly selling merchandise, trying to shoot content, and just hanging out with the fans. But that's it. So Mike, I've known Mike for 17 years. I've known Justin for 11 years now. So they're both like two older brothers in addition to TJ. And we all just kind of grew up racing together between my dad's pro modified team and then my super comp program with TJ. And then you came along and you help out on the car, you help out with merch, you help out with content, you do a little bit of everything too.
I mostly just wear Mike Reese out, if we had to be honest. every time we don't go fast enough, I'm like, Mike, come on, what are we? Give me the keyboard. Let me run that graph up a little more.
No.
I've enjoyed talking.
I want to make a different racetrack. But that's it. That's our entire team. It's just how many is that? 3, 4, 5 of us. And
that's a perfect amount. You don't have anybody overstepping each other, and
you can quality control stays good.
Right.
We all know each other. We've all been around each other for X amount of years, and so it's like family, honestly.
A fun fact about Mike Reese is he basically started on Troy's Pro Mod, scraping the rubber off the fenders, and then, from my understanding, he basically worked under Petty, and Petty had him doing like back half of the car. Then he moved to engine maintenance, and then he ended up driving the car at test sessions for Troy because Troy couldn't make it to a test session. So Mike would make like 200-300 runs a year in your dad's car.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started basically overseeing what Petty was doing with the tuning, and that's where he's at now.
And now he tunes my car. It's weird how the roles have slightly changed where I drive now. And he's tuning the car when he tuned the car with my dad.
And he's building the new car.
Yeah, we're building a brand new car, and Mike is building that in his garage. It's going to be fast.
Now, bought a jig table at PRI and been going at it since.
Really? So he became obsessed with doing that, and that's now his thing.
I always joke with him. I'm like, this is no different than when you had slot cars when you were like a teenager. You're slot cars. Now you're just building a bigger version in your garage. That's all it is.
Right. He worked on the Camaro. I mean, when we decided to go in PK racing, him and Justin basically rebuilt that entire car in his garage and redid this entire thing to make it run this series. And so I've never went out and bought a car or like had somebody else build it. Those guys have just built it in the backyard, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of history with the Camaro. It's been around the family for a long time. So the fact that he's building my new car, it's going to be like a work of art. I'm really excited about it.
That is cool. So now the Camaro you have now, is this your first door car?
It is my first door car. Yep. I've only ever driven the dragster. I drove his Mustang once or twice prior. Was not the biggest fan of it. But once I got in the Camaro, I don't even drive my dragster anymore.
He couldn't handle a 630 small tire.
You know, a lot of lessons were learned in that Mustang. And honestly, I think it made me the driver I am today with the mistakes that I made and what I learned from them. But once I got in that Camaro, I don't want to drive any other car.
I mean, a stock suspension, small tire car going low sixes in the 8th mile is pretty fun. So it's a little hairy,
different
sometimes.
vehicles.
You can't lock all 4 wheels up at 110. 'Cause I learned.
Any of that? No, thank you.
Now,
That's
what
all.
age did you start junior racing?
Let's see. I started consistently running the juniors when I was 14. I did that for maybe like a year or two ish. I honestly, I raced a little bit locally, just at National Trail Raceway out in Hebron, Ohio. But I wanted to be on the road with my dad's pro mod team. I absolutely loved going to the national events. I was in charge of the GoPros. So I had a role in the team and I just loved being around all the guys. So that's how I knew Spike, or we call him Spike, but it's Mike.
He used to have spiked hair.
That's how long we've known him. But no, I absolutely loved being a part of the pro mod team. I think that door slammer racing is the coolest thing on the planet Earth. And that's what kind of gravitated us towards No Prep Kings racing, now Outlaw racing, and never looked back. So yeah,
So-
I started there, had a passion for this the whole time.
When did you transition from the junior to a full-size dragster?
Yes, I went from 790s. That's the oldest group. Yeah. So I did 790 juniors and then went right into a super comp car. So I was going about 185. I was one of the faster super comp cars before everybody started going 180 miles an hour. I felt like an innovator at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, now everybody's going that fast.
Yeah, definitely not an innovator. Your dad went like 190 in super.
Okay, but that's a whole nother level. We'll probably never reach because he's just that badass.
Yeah, John Lingenfelder back in the day was gangster.
Oh yeah. So my daughter is 11 and she's just now I'm just now starting to learn the junior thing. So
Okay.
she's
Gonna lose your hair.
transitioning into it.
Well, you can help him out with that.
I know
You're
nothing about it.
knowledgeable in junior dragsters.
No, we did a lot. So my dad made me start building my junior motors when I was like 14.
Oh, that's cool.
So cheat them and build them. And then once I got out of juniors, like we ended up winning the world championship. I won like 10 track championships in a division. It was fun. It was just me and my dad. We traveled everywhere.
Now, how long did you junior, like, what's your history
2000.
there? Tell me your racing history.
So 2008 to 2014.
Yeah.
So 6 years. Yeah.
You did the full shebang, didn't you?
Yeah, we did everything. We'd run like 20 races a year, 25 races a year.
Wow.
It was insane.
So your parents had no free time.
No, my dad, it was like, that was basically my dad. We would just make enough money grinding cranks and balancing cranks to just so we can go racing on the weekends. And we abused the shit out of that thing. I mean, we had basically every 100 runs, because the way I drove the car, you're always ripping the gas. So at 100 runs, the rod was either going to be cracked or coming out of it.
Oh my gosh.
So we had 2 engines. We'd make 90 runs. I'd take the one apart, stick a rod and a piston in it, go back racing. So we'd probably go through basically 3 rod and pistons a year.
So who would have known at the time, right, that you were cutting your teeth into building engines?
Well, that was what basically. So when I got out of juniors, I was so involved in it. I started building. I was building like 40, 50 engines a year. The junior.
Oh, we lost them.
We lost it.
Hey, welcome back. Can you hear us?
There we go.
Yeah, we heard it.
We're back.
All right, welcome back. So this is the great
Sorry.
thing that we now pre-record instead of doing live.
Exactly.
You're like, look how smooth this went. All right, so we were talking about
Juniors.
juniors.
Yeah.
We were talking about your racing career.
Yeah. So basically we won a lot. We did a lot. And then I got out of it. I was building 40, 50 junior motors a year. But then I got so busy doing stuff for like Scott at AMP, and I was building big LSX motors and big blocks and SR20 engines and Big Chief engines. And it got to the point where, like, honestly, my new hone that I got a CNC hone. I had to do a junior motor last week, and I couldn't even fit it in my home because it's a 3-inch bore, and I don't even have the adapter to get in my home that small.
Oh no.
So I had to go over. Luckily, we have a neighbor. He's got an old hand hone, so I went over there and honed it, built the motor. Still, thing was actually good. He was happy with it this weekend. But it's basically all my tooling got bigger and nothing got smaller, so I don't really build a whole lot of them anymore. But it was quite the learning experience. I basically started off building Briggs & Stratton engines, and now I'm building basically anything.
And put the kids out to the porch.
Yep.
Just left the kids out. Miss Paige, your new car, can you tell us, is it going to be a F-body or is it something completely different or what?
Completely different.
Sweet.
Completely different. I haven't announced what it is yet.
Secret, huh?
Yeah.
But it's not a Camaro. It's not even a Chevy.
Oh, crud.
It should have a Hemi in it though.
Yes.
Now, is that going to be part? Are you going to debut it in the Outlaws?
If we can get it done by the end of this year, we might be able to make one race. It just kind of depends on what races come up towards the end of the year. I know that they have that big small tire event in Galat Halloween weekend. If it's done, we could try it there. If not, we can always put the Camaro in smalls, because I know that's something that we've talked about as well, because that car was originally a small tire car. But if not this year, it will be debuted next year.
Basically, the new car is going to be a lot of titanium, enough wheelbase to where we could go run World Series of Pro Mod.
I was going to say that could be the debut race, is World Series of Pro Mod.
I was just about to ask you because I seen like you were kind of sparking up talking about Pro Mod. Do you have an interest in racing Pro Mod?
I think Pro Mod is one of the most badass classes out there. I think right now we really love what we're doing with the Outlaw Series. I think it's a ton of fun. The fans are amazing. The payout's amazing. And the fact that we get to travel all across the country and visit different tracks. And I love that aspect of it. I would never say no, but I think for right now, we're going to stick on the darker side.
I mean, when you
Door slammer racing.
when you get 3,500 horsepower and a door slammer, it's all gangster at that point. So
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll see. Never say never, but for right now, I really love what we're doing over here.
I think she should get twin turbo deal like her dad, and then we'll put the spray on to spool it up.
It's like a rite of passage. Got to do it at some point.
So, like with what Kai did at Bradenton last year, does that kind of make you want to go and kick his butt there too?
Yeah, I was itching to. If I could make that work with the Camaro, it would be a dream come true. They are just not the same cars. So his car is capable of, what would you say, more or different?
His car can handle the power.
Yeah. My car's a top sportsman car. I mean, that's what it.
We probably have
what it is.
the fastest stock body Camaro in the country, in my opinion. Not like
we're
a
pushing
pro.
this thing to its limits.
It's not. It didn't start as a Pro Mod. The thing started off as a back half Camaro,
Right.
and it's been cut up. That's why it's heavy. I mean, the doors weigh more than anybody's door in the series. Like,
Yeah. We definitely have some disadvantages when it comes to that, I would say, and the rest of those guys, their cars are built to be doing what they're doing, and ours is not. But we're not letting that get us down. So I think that's why we're leaning towards building a new car, and to make it to where, it's going to be legal to run in the Outlaw Series, especially if they keep the no rules, only steel roof and quarters. Sky's the limit.
When we bring this thing out, though, they're probably going to make rules, because then we'll actually, we got the lightest driver. Then we'll actually be able to.
I try.
Then we could actually move weight around. Like right now, we have 25 pounds, and we're like, we might as well just take this off. This ain't doing nothing for us.
So it's been a learning curve in that sense, because it's hard knowing that I'm like, I'm heavier, which those affect our performance when it comes to these other cars that are just built to be doing this, and they're lighter. And these guys have been doing this for years, where we're just getting started. So I don't think I could compete at that level with the Camaro doing what Kai did. Mm-hmm. Can't knock it till I try it, but we weren't able to do it. We wanted to do it last year, and the car just wasn't ready. But with the new car, we'll go out there and easily wax his ass. In my opinion.
That'd be cool.
Sorry.
So let's talk about kind of the strategy for this year. With a lot of the cars now boost and juice, right? So Nitrous Outlet's been pushing boost and juice for a long time. So that's one reason it got my interest, because I tend to really focus in on areas of things that pertain to what we do, right? So there's so many different aspects of racing, but honestly, whenever I'm involved with the racers there, that's when I become really interested with it. So I've kind of analyzed what's going on here, and I really feel like the class is going to be insanely fast about mid-season as people start to really grab on what to do.
I would have to agree, 100%.
And
100%.
I think that's going to set the tone for the rest of the industry, realizing that you don't have to pick one or the other. You can actually have both.
That's right. Yep. We're doing it. Everybody's throwing stuff together.
Now you could have both without being considered a cheater.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
In the past, we know that people have been using both, but now you can actually use both.
Right.
Cool. I didn't even know we could do something like that. And when I got to purchase the nitrous for the first time, I'm like, man, this is so cool.
I kept joking with Mike Reese about I'm like, let's just make this thing look like it's like a pressure sensor, and we'll stuff it right in the blower. We're measuring atmospheric pressure.
Right.
And we're like interested in this thing. That was my talk last year. I'm like, let's just do that. And he's like, oh, we're not cheating. We're not cheating.
It's funny you say that, because I call it an atmospheric nozzle. And I always post that. And one time this guy messaged me and he goes, man, tell me more about the atmospheric nozzle. Like, what does it do? And he was really intrigued with it. I'm like, it's just a nitrous nozzle. So, for years, each manufacturer preached against the other, right? And years back, I really realized, and there's actually an article that I wrote with GM High Tech magazine. I think it was one of the magazines, and it was explaining the advantage of, whenever you really break it down into simple terms, good air molecule, right? And knocking the air temps down by enforcing air in, because the motor just being a big air pump, right? So now we've given it the best of both scenarios, which makes more consistent power and more reliable power. The problem is it's really easy to take that $5 nitrous jet and just get really greedy on how much power we're putting in there. It's not as much work as far as changing parts out. I suspect that. So let me back up a minute. So we started working with different race classes to bring in boost and juice classes, because there were no classes really that would allow dual power adder. And that's when no prep really started catching my attention, because it's kind of raw, right? And then some of these ET cap classes, because it didn't matter as long as you just stayed within this window. And that's where bracket racing caught my attention, right? So this different stuff, it's really weird, because there's like he's been trying to get me to, what type of race is that?
Oh, the Funny Car Chaos.
Yeah, so Funny Car Chaos, because that's where he is. And so it got rained out this last time, but he's like, all right, I bought tickets. You're coming. You're going to stand on the start line. You're going to enjoy this. And now that we started Flow Supply and we're doing all these hoses and fittings, Jeff's like, look, this is us now. You can venture out of your area. So I think that I'm babbling again.
No, they're nitrous newbies. I'm a nitrous newbie.
Yeah. So I think that it's going to continue to grow. I think you're going to see more classes that allow dual power adder, and I think that you guys are going to be the eyesight that creates that. Oh, I didn't even realize we could do this.
I would agree. I think it's awesome. I want to see more of it, because it's badass to watch, and I don't know, it's just interesting to see what people come up with and what they do to come up with the power. And I don't know, I'm excited about it.
I think the little gangsters class right now, if you had like just a basic nitrous big block, something that's consistent power, I feel like you could crush in that class.
That would be cool.
And and the thing with it is that it's such a relatable ET where people can afford to race that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the reason the car counts are so big.
I mean, 530 is what, 12, maybe 13 horsepower in a Fox body, and that's toned down probably. You could do that with a 555 with your plate system.
Yeah. I mean, my little S10, the fastest it went, we never really tried to push it, but it's like a 510. We could have slowed it down and did that.
Yeah, there you go.
And not tore nothing
There you
up. You know, like literally, I suck as a driver, so we wouldn't have won. But we could have had fun and not broke nothing.
I like your new the Dave's 450-ish deal that we got coming on. And
Oh yeah.
that's going to be pretty cool to me because there's a lot of cars down here that can run right in there. You know, you're not the 530s, you're in the 4s. And you know, when I was a kid, everything was like 4s. Whoa, that's flying. But I mean, you can get 30, 32 cars show up that can all run a 450, 440, somewhere in there. I mean, it's going to get pretty cool.
You're going to get a better level of cars, but you're not going to get the car count like the 530 gets.
Yeah, the 530, I mean,
the 450 area, I didn't really realize how tough that was because I really am focused in Ultra Street, and that's a pretty common area for Ultra Street. But as I started reaching out to people that I thought was faster, and they're like, dude, the fastest I've been is like a 480. My car won't go that fast. And I'm like, what? You know, like, and so the thing with the Clash is that guys that are in that 450 range, they can't quite compete with the low 4s, or they got to slow it down to 490. So we created that, and it's getting it's growing. This will be our first race this weekend, so I'm looking forward to it. But
That's awesome.
it's definitely not going to have the car count that like the 530 class. I mean, those guys, you got to swat them off of fly swatters. There's so many of them, you know. It's just
It really is.
yeah. So
in California,
I think there were 70 of them in Bradenton at the World Series of Pro.
70.
yeah,
It was like they didn't stop coming. It was like they kept driving around.
right.
the same dude getting 6, 7, 8 passes.
Yeah, I mean, so whenever I was younger, I street raced, right? And so, but our car, when we would go to the track, we would cruise it out to the track, change the tires. We didn't have a trailer or nothing. Change the tires. We'd make a few passes, we'd put tires back in it, and we'd go to Wendy's. You know, like that was, so the 530 class, and back then the cars were all quarter mile stuff. But to me, I can relate that to the 5. It's a little faster, don't get me wrong. But I think that's very relatable to today's day and age. So
Yeah, I would agree.
And then I got a customer that did a 632 with 2 systems, but he's running this junior 484 class. You know anything about that?
oh, dude, the 484 stuff is
It's pretty hot.
Michael Hill's putting that on, and he's a great guy to work with. But those cars are like, you tend to really notice like different types of racing brings a different type of people. Does that make sense? And the pride in the car, nothing against the 530 stuff, but some of those cars are like complete beaters, right? Like you probably don't really leave that in the lane
They
next
leave
to
the fuel cell cap off and there's fuel dumping out and they leave the starting line. I mean,
So where if you look at the 484 stuff, the cars are top caliber. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really where my focus is. I try not to, I don't want to sound stuck up, but like I like the guys that take self pride in their car. Does that make sense? Yeah. So
they like nice and neat.
yes,
You don't want like those connectors that they like snap onto a power wire and they connect another wire to it. And
right.
that's how they're putting on your nitrous solenoid.
Hey, but you know
don't
what's
want-
crazy is those guys normally like. I had a friend like that. Like his car was complete beater, and it always ran like perfect. And then I would do everything right, and it would just eat itself. You know what I mean? Like,
You don't want to have to go get a tetanus shot after walking through the pits.
right. So, but I do like it. I like all forms of racing, so I'm not bashing that type of racing. I'm just saying where my personal interest goes is kind of more towards the more higher caliber cars. And what tends to happen is the company tends to follow the owner's interest, and it's not always a great thing because sometimes I get us out in the left field. And so that's definitely though it's so weird. There's so many different types of forms of racing changing right now, even with the transition of MPK to Outlaws. You know, we don't know, this year's going to be a defining moment to whether or not that racing continues or if it starts to fade out.
Or if they change something else up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They got to adapt.
I think the
that's what
live
we're doing.
feeds. Yeah.
We're in the adaptive stage.
That's why the new car will fit multiple things.
But I think it's hopeful because there's a reason why Nike comes out with a new shoe design every month. You know what I mean? Not that it's every month, but things become stagnant, even if it's great. And then somebody's looking for the next hottest thing. I've watched everything from Top Sportsman 470 to radial racing. And the Top Sportsman down here died out because radial became more interesting because the cars were running the same time back then, and then they were wheeling or wrecking. And now you got no prep, right? And then no prep took over. Radial is still big, but no prep is growing at a rapid rate, and it has been for the last 5 years. So everything kind of carries its thing, and now you see the 530, and the 530 is now the hot topic. So you start seeing these trends come in and go, and it's kind of cool. Maybe I'm telling my age here, but it's kind of cool watching and you see new faces like you guys coming in, and you are the future of our industry. And back in the day whenever I was in high school and I would cruise through the parking lot, we all had hot rods, you know what I mean? And now you don't see that. So you don't see near the racing, and that's
well, back when we were younger, we could afford a hot rod.
No, we couldn't. We just didn't eat.
I had
we had Taco Bell every day.
Camaro. My first car was a 67 RSSS, 4-speed car.
Well, you did better than me. I had a bucket of crap.
But you went to school. Everybody had something cool. I mean, you had guys that had their Mustangs, and you had the guys that had their Dodges that were all jacked up with their little hijacker stuff. But you could have quasi afford it back then. Nowadays, you go find a Camaro, that sucker's $30,000 already. Ain't nobody can swing that.
Yeah, but you're not working for $7 an hour no more.
Dude, it was $3.35 an hour.
Oh, God.
That's what they paid.
They won't even buy a Coke now.
No, you go to Sefco, you better hope for a fountain drink, and it's still going to be $2.90.
I mean, gas in California was what, $15 a gallon or something like that?
It was $6.
$6?
Yeah.
For regular?
Double what it is here.
Jesus.
So what did I see?
I saw
was
something
it
that was like $8 $8 a gallon, but I don't remember if that was Ron Capps posting something in Hawaii or if it was California.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw it just the other day.
It's down here. That's $12. It was $12 a gallon when I was driving around here.
Down by American Muscle, there was a gas station that said it was like $12 a gallon. I'm like, that can't be right. There's no way. There was people at the pumps filling up, and I'm like, there's no way. That sign had to be wrong.
Their sign is broke.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about y'all's focus for the season. All right, so we're headed to Virginia. When y'all leaving for Virginia?
What's the day? Tuesday. So we leave Thursday morning. We're heading out to Virginia.
All right, and what's in you don't have. I have to be careful how I ask these questions because obviously we're getting ready to compete. What can you share of your strategy, if anything, for Virginia?
We're going to go faster.
I like to tell people I just wing it. I just wing it.
Go really fast.
Driving wise, I just wing it because you can never prepare yourself for what that car is going to do within the 3 to 4, like 3.8 to 4.1 second range from point A to point B. It could go left, it could go right, it could go up. Who knows? But there's nothing you can really do to prepare yourself because it's so just spur of the moment. And you really drive with your butt and you just kind of have to let it go and you have to react to the car and make these decisions within a split second. And those decisions can be like not life or death, but they can be the matter of either you win, you stay in your lane, you hit the wall, cross the center line. You just never know because it's so unpredictable. So all I can really do is just be focused, be present with the fans, and just continue to work on my reaction time, just making sure I'm always better and better and better every single race we go to. And other than that, I wing it because I don't know. I have fun that way.
She sounds too professional.
Professional. I mean, you guys, some of these guys out here are practicing.
We're racing street outlaws. You gotta be like, no, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna be faster than everybody. I'm gonna leave first. Nobody's gonna beat us.
Well,
you gotta be cocky.
I'm talking about myself first when I just said I win because I have faith in the rest of my guys who are going to make this car go from one end of the racetrack to the other. And all I have to do is leave first and I just have to drive it. And so I got faith that they can make that work, especially with the tools that we have now to make this thing fast. And we've already seen what all these other teams are capable of, but most so. So we just know that we need to bring our A game and more when it comes to Virginia, because it's going to be a fast track. That place is gnarly. The weather's going to be different. I mean, it's still going to be hot, but it's still going to be a challenge, but I don't think it'll be as challenging.
No,
as
she's doing it right. She's rope-a-doping.
She's still too professional. You gotta be like, all right, we're taking the nitrous.
Bringing them in, and then bam.
This is how Johnny's the other half in this sense, where he's like,
we're taking the nitrous jet out. We're putting the big beer we can in the pro charger. We're gonna turn it 9,800.
Oh my gosh,
Johnny's the aggressive one, huh?
Let's just send him,
yes.
send him a Gustav nozzle.
I let y'all do what you need to do to make it go fast. I will just get it there.
There you go. Hey, that's the best peace of mind, to be able to get in the driver's seat and know that your crew's got your best interest, and all you got to do is focus on driving. Right?
Always do. So, I know that. I tell them, I said, don't be scared. Don't be shy. Make this thing go fast. I don't care if I can't see where I'm going. I don't care if it's moving around. I don't care if it's testing and we're in the other flipping lane. I just want to flip and go and drive it. Like, I am not scared to like that. I am scared sometimes.
But you got to bring it back in one piece.
Well, she's proven that you can throw it at her and she's gonna dump the chute, or she's keeping it
slow and don't baby it.
She's keeping it. She's keeping it going.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like sitting there and I'm scooting in the seat. I'm like, let's go faster. Let's go faster. We need to go faster.
We've rattled her brains out for probably, we made like 13 runs testing, and at least 8 of them rattled your brain.
Oh yeah, I got the
All right, so we're let's talk this season. You got Sean notching the belt, right? So you took out Murder Nova, which was a sweet victory.
Yes.
What's your next sweet victory? Like, if you outrun any particular racer and it gave you a very sense of achievement and joy, who would it be? Who'd you say, Johnny?
I would say Giuseppe, but I know Giuseppe doesn't run anymore, but I'm still going to call him Giuseppe. So I want to beat Giuseppe.
I'd love to beat that car. Yeah, sure. I think another one, though, would be Kai Kelly, just because we've only ever ran each other once. And that one time he broke the blower belt.
He always breaks blower belts. Yeah. So we know we got to race him. It's at least, you got a 30% chance he might pop a blower belt after the burnout, which is good.
But he's really turned his deal up within the last year. I mean, he's been taking names, going rounds, winning races, going all over the place. And he's got a fast hot rod.
He probably won the most money out of anybody last year.
And I've known Kai for a long time. And so through all types of different forms of racing. And whenever all this filming first started, the street races and stuff that we were all doing down here in Texas, and he's definitely advanced in his career. I think that would be a solid achievement.
2 third gens. It's got to happen. The fact that it hasn't really happened before kind of blows my mind. I don't know if he's scared to run us because he won't ever call us out or grudge race us or nothing. But I'm here for it. So if he's watching, I mean, come on, let's make a run.
Kai's my buddy, but I'm going to tell you, I'll be cheering on your side.
Thank you.
So
he's definitely one.
He is. I'd love to make a run against him. That's fast car he's got going on.
It don't matter if he's running nitrous, blower. He seems like he puts it together.
Yes, he's done very well. So it's safe to say that if y'all line up in Virginia, you're going to be chewing your cheeks raw, right?
I'm just going to be hoping that we're faster, because I'm the prettier one, but I want to be the faster one too, and that's going to be a really tough one to achieve, in my opinion. And if we can get it done, I'm going to say that's going to be extremely badass. And we definitely know we got something to work for. So that's someone I want to race.
Awesome.
And at least if we beat him, we don't go hear excuses. He doesn't seem like he makes excuses like some of the other racers, though.
I think that's common for some racers to make excuses instead of just owning it. And if you follow me on social media, I'm an idiot and I do a bunch of stupid shit and I'll always own it. Like I call myself out, and to me that adds more fun to it. But a lot of people are very secretive. Like they don't want you to know that they made a mistake, you know?
Yeah. I say we win as a team, we lose as a team. It don't matter who on the team messed up or did something wrong or made a mistake. It doesn't matter. We do it together as a team because we're a family. So
Hey,
I stand
family blames each other.
Right.
Friends and family.
Yeah. It's like, Johnny, what'd you do?
So, all right. Well, is there anything you guys want to cover before we wrap this up?
Johnny?
Other than thanking them for all the nitrous stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we should be thanking you all.
We got that ball.
Oh, no, we do appreciate it. We're having so much fun, kind of working through the bugs and figuring out how we can get the nitrous to link up with the car and make it as fast as possible. It's just cool to add another variable and one I'm not familiar with because I never ran with nitrous before this car. Like I tried it once in my dragster at the World Series promo not last year, the year before.
It was good. I just turned it up. I was trying to get it to go faster than 20s, 420s.
I didn't know what I was doing, and so
it had the wheel up and it was shaking the tire a little bit, and she stepped out of it, and I was like, oh.
well, my first instinct is, get out of it. I'm used to driving a Camaro, but
And then I stood it up and destroyed the front end.
yeah,
The
you
last
did.
time I
You
raced
broke
it.
it. Just
Oh, no.
bent. I'm
It was
like,
a good one.
I let you go racing for 1 weekend with my car, and it comes back broke.
I've stood up a lot of cars spraying nitrous.
But it's exciting. I'm super excited to continue to learn how to get this thing to work and like as we fine tune it, make it go faster. And I love purging it. I think that is badass. I never got to do that before.
We're
So we'll
working on
see.
this cool purge light right now
yeah.
that's like 10 different colors. And it's in the R&D process right now, and it is bright LED. And as soon as we're going to send you one.
We need to send one of those.
We need the golden. The golden.
No, could it be yellow or gold or
Actually,
I don't know.
I'll have to ask DH. This is his project, but it's got like, it's kind of crazy because you start mixing different LEDs to become one color. And this thing is so bright, you can't stare at it. Like,
Nice.
it's crazy. And that was his. So, like, there's obviously other purge lights out on the market, but all of them are kind of dim. And there's only blue and
You can land airplanes
Red.
with this one.
yeah, this thing's bright. It's going to be awesome. So, as soon as it's done,
Oh, I'm
we'll probably
excited about
30
that.
days away.
That sounds awesome. But no, we appreciate the partnership for sure. Thank you for taking us on, and we're super excited to work with y'all and continue to make this Camaro go fast.
We're learning a lot.
That we are.
we're following y'all's achievements and we're rooting you on. So thank you for joining Team Nitrous Outlet. And so
Oh, well, thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
we'll be watching you this weekend too.
Yep.
Although,
Thank you.
did you send in our form so we're all set up?
I already did.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Paige is on it.
All right.
Always.
So almost this is very important. Tell people where. So I'm assuming that y'all sell apparel.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Where can people find y'all? What y'all social media platforms? How can people buy your apparel and to support you? Give us the
Website. Yeah. We can go right on the website.
PaigeCoughlinRacing.com, right?
Paige
There you
Coughlin.
go. Boy, you had to pull
Oh,
that one
I
out.
was like, yeah, we have a
See,
website.
that's why we work together.
It did not click in my brain. I was actually working on my website earlier today.
PaigeCoughlin.com.
Yes, it's pagecoughlin.com. All my social medias are Paige Coughlin Racing.
And I think we're gonna put so even though we're setting up the account through my business, I think I'm gonna put the nitrous kits on her website because I don't have a website.
It's something we are in the process of working on.
And then I just have her. When they buy it, she handles it all. And I make all the profit, so that's perfect.
There you go. So anything,
And we display it at the racetrack too. We got signs hanging up and everything.
you know, I said
Yeah.
y'all sent me pictures of our banners hanging out the racetrack, and I can't thank you enough for that. Let me tell you something that I've actually noticed, Aaron, that I've noticed this season with the racers that we're working with within y'all series is that y'all all understand how it goes back. It's a give and take, right? And so the representation that you guys have given us in return, honestly, I feel like we haven't done enough, and I can't thank you enough for what you've done because we are a small business, and that goes a long ways, and a lot of people don't understand how that business works. And so every one of the racers that we're working with within y'all series do, and it's refreshing.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, and we're just thankful to be a part of it.
One
for
hand
sure.
cleans the other.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
So, well, thank y'all for joining us, and we'll be watching and cheering you on.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank
We
you for having
appreciate it
us.
for sure. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
All righty, you too.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Be nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Forgot the be nice part.
I-
Agree with me.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay. We will.
So y'all are the opposite. My wife is the aggressive one, and I'm the nice one. So I have to tell her to be nice. And then we have Johnny over here that seems to be the aggressive one.
We play good cop, bad cop. When it comes to collecting payment, I'm too easy and she's the hard one. So we flip flop.
Yeah.
Well, that's the accounting skills part.
Each other out. We give and take in that area.
We flip flop. We're like, we do flip flop.
We
Because
do.
when it comes to money, I get like, I'm like too nice to people. I'm like, what, $100 off? Yeah, whatever.
No,
She's like, nope, that messes up everything on
No.
this invoice.
that's gas. We need that ain't gonna work.
Hey,
That's gas
Johnny.
today.
My team has removed me from doing sales calls for that reason right there.
Exactly.
I
See?
hurt the company. So yeah, I've had to learn where my strengths and my weaknesses are. And I am great at the tech side and that's what I enjoy doing. But when it comes to the sales, I don't need to be involved because we'll go bankrupt.
He brings them to us. We close it out.
You'll be like, here's 4 shirts. Oh, you need a couple little things. Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you
Send
do
this in.
that with my stuff sometimes too. Every now and then. Most of the time I don't care, but
I'm soft.
That just means you got a good heart.
Yes.
Like you
Yeah.
want to help people. And that's good. That's good. So that all goes back to the be nice.
Yes.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. And we'll be watching this weekend. Go get them.
all righty.
Right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.